Hi guys, welcome back to another video and part 3 of this series, Building in Dominica. So we've been through part 1 where I showed you everything, explained everything on how to get to the point of ready to build, buying your land, surveying it, architects, cost, etc. Then we looked at part 2, which was the going through the plans of a small 2-bedroom property, which we plan to build in the future for a guest house. And now we're going to go through my main house plans, which is the house we plan to start building in the next couple of months. So as I said in the last video, this is the first time I'm going through this. It's the first time I'm going through these drawings actually. So we're going to be doing this together. So I might be a little bit slow because I'm going to be finding my way through these drawings myself because a lot of it's going to be new to me. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so what do we got here? We have ground floor plan. So we'll start with this. We've got a couple of details on this drawing here. We've got some site plan here. We've got some information here which I just kind of need to cover for personal reasons. But let's look at this ground floor plan. So this is actually kind of back to front to me actually. But let's look at it from this side. So this is our main road here, okay? So our entrance is actually this way. So if we're looking at it, we're looking at the back of the house here, and we're looking at the front of the house here. And these are the neighbors either side, okay? Just to give you context. And the exact same thing is over here. So if you can see here, it says entry. So we've got a couple of steps. We have some tall columns up here, which go all the way to the roof. We've got a few steps up here, and our entry is here, our front door, if you want to call it that. So when we enter, we have a foyer area, and we also have an office in the front here, small office in the front of the building with a window to the front, okay? From the foyer, it's all open plan all the way down to the back of the house. So from the front door, you can see all the way down to the kitchen, or all the way down to the back door, should I say. You've got a dining area here, you've got a kitchen here, an island. This is all kitchen units here in this area. Okay, this could change, but this is generally what we have in mind. Now, from off here, you can go to a quiet living room. So there's a little hallway here, and this hallway, there's a door and takes you to the living room here, which also has some patio doors to take you out to the garden. Okay, this is going to be a TV room or something like that. Now, down this hallway, we also have a bathroom, which is I guess a downstairs toilet for guests, and also it's the bathroom for the guest bedroom. There is a guest bedroom downstairs on the ground floor. It could be a future bedroom for us when we get old as well, but at the moment it's a downstairs guest bedroom down here. There's also another small corridor with a laundry area here, and that also leads you into a double garage. Okay, so double garage, you can obviously access it from outside. You can drive straight in, and you can come through the garage into the house as well. There's some storage areas at the back as well. So this is my little spot there. So this is, generally speaking, the ground floor. It is over 2 floors. Most of the bedrooms are upstairs, so it'll probably be on the next sheet. On the next page now. So as I said, yeah, we got the upper floor on the next sheet. So if you remember, we had that little office. You can see a roof below. So that office only carries up to the below the ground floor, basically. So it has a little roof on it. This atrium entrance area goes all the way up to the roof, as I said. So do the columns. Now, when you go up the stairs, you basically end up on this area here, which is a corridor, and it's open down to below, so you can look down and see anybody in this area here. There'll be a balustrade up here. Now, through this corridor here, you have a bedroom here with a closet. We also have some closets in the hallway as well. But you have a bedroom here, and then you also have another bedroom here, pretty much the same size, with a closet. They sort of mirror each other. Then you have an upstairs bathroom, which is for use for these 2 bedrooms. You've got a sink, toilet, shower sort of layout. Then off the corridor here, you have the master bedroom, which is quite a large room, 24 by 22 and a half. And you also have in there a walk-in closet and a master bathroom. So this is the main upstairs. Now there is also a patio as well, which is basically sitting on part of the garage below. So you have the kind of open patio with these balustrades here. Then you also have a staircase to take you down, and that will take you around the back to the garden. So this is generally the sort of flow and layout of the house as far as our concept. And then we have a lot of the structural elements as well. So we've got, this is all the roof design, all the different hips. So these are valleys where you see these triangle parts. These are valleys that water will sort of roll over. Well, not necessarily valleys, but some of them are hips and some are valleys. So I think these two are valleys, and this is a hip, and this is a hip, this is a hip, I think. And you've got a hip there as well. And you also have a ridge here with direction of rafters going that way. So this is essentially the roof layout. So you've got a couple of details as far as connecting rafters together. The ridge details here again, as you can see, for that little porch as well. Galvanized cappings. Houses typically here are built with galvanized roofs. Right, so on the next page, what we got here? So let's start here. We got a typical lintel beam detail. So generally speaking, our lintels are cast in situ. So that means we cast the concrete lintels in place. So you'd build your brickwork up to a certain place, up to just underneath the lintel. Then you would box it in with timber, put your rebars and so on, and then you'd fill it up with concrete. Once it's set and cured, then you'd build your block work above it. So that's usually what's done above windows and door openings, cast them all in situ. This is just some kitchen cupboard details here. Obviously, this is all subject to change. This is what the architect has done, but he's just showing cabinets and cupboards and stuff. We more than likely will get our stuff sort of pre-manufactured rather than manufacturing on site or in the country. So we've got things like lighting layout. So this is a services drawing, I think. So we've got all lighting layouts, which again are subject to change. We might not necessarily want the lights how or where they are, but this is what has been designed. So this is the first floor, and this is the ground floor. So this will have extractor fans, light switches, probably sockets as well. There is a key here that shows you where the sockets are. So he's actually got some 110 RCD sockets and 220 sockets. So he's put in design for both everywhere. So at each point you have two sockets, a 110 and a 220. More than likely, we probably won't do the 110. That will obviously save us money. We're not really using any American appliances. Everything will probably come from the UK, and most of the stuff that's purchased in Dominica is 220 anyway. So if you do have one or two items here or there that may be 110, you can just purchase a small individual transformer, which you can just plug into a 220 socket anyway. But we're not gonna bother with doing any 110s in the house. Now we've got some more details as well. We've got all these are roof details. Talked about this on the last video about anchor points and hurricane straps and all this different stuff. You got all these straps here tying the rafters together. Here's our soffits and our fascias. To sheetrock on 2x2 bearers. So basically it's a full ceiling hanging. We're not sure how we're going to do our ceilings yet. At least for the first floor, we may have some open rafters on our ceilings, what we will see. Some more roof details here. From one roof going onto another roof. We've got septic tank details as well here, which is a plan and a section version of it. And these are pretty consistent, pretty similar to the other house that we looked at on the last video. And we just got block work and columns, how to stiffen the columns, the steel details. There'll be a lot more steel detail drawings anyway, but this just gives you some sort of rough idea of how this should be done. Also some connections, bird's mouths that you have here, and some sort of steel connections when it comes to your rafters connecting to your wall plates. Right, so we've got a bunch. This is the actual now ground floor. So this is a foundation plan. So this is where all our trenches, we've got a lot of trenches to dig. But this is all trenches. Every one of these is columns. Some of them are just foundation columns. Some of them will go all the way up the house. And then these are all the sort of roughly what the areas of rooms are, roughly. Not every part, but roughly. You've got more details here as far as steels that have to go inside, building up the floor slab. So there's part of this foundation is down below the ground, and it comes up out of the ground, and then it gets cast as a concrete slab. So again, we got more beam details. So these are beams. So you've got beams in line 3, 5, and 6. So those will correspond to some of the other drawings that we looked at, where you can see, I mentioned this again in another video, A, C, D, E, F. And you will look for those cross-sectional lines on some of the other drawings, and it will let you know where those are. Again, you can see a lot of details, section 3.3, section 4.4, 5.5.6.6. So you need to correspond to these sections to make sure that you're using the right stirrups, steel beam sizes. For instance, in this section here where you've got section, I think it's this one, 5.5, you have an 8mm stirrups at 8-inch centers. Now, in section 5.5, it requires double of the strengthening, so it's at 4 inches instead of 8 inches. So you can see the difference in there, because this beam obviously must be taking more load. It's gonna flex more, so it needs more reinforcement. All right, next page, we're not gonna spend much time on this one and bore you. It's just more of the same, loads and loads of sections. And this is, again, I mentioned in the first video that we had to pay extra for an engineer to do some of the beam details for us, because there was a lot of open plans and long beams that go past a certain width or length. Architects generally allowed to design up to a certain length of steel beam. Once it goes past that, it has to go to an engineer. So that's why we've got a lot of details when it comes to steel beams on here. So let's move on to the next page. So again, we've got loads more details. Now we've got some stair details. These are the side stairs that takes you down from the master bedroom patio down to the garden. So you can see all the steel beaming details for that. We've got some arch details here as well, more stair details as well, and columns. Most of this stuff is steel. We've got the round columns there as well, and it just has all the steel details for that. So yeah, so the last page, actually, my favorite page actually. So you see this says omitted, and it says see revised. So the revised was the one that was on the previous page. So this is not what we're working to, but working one on the previous page. So this is essentially the elevations of the house. So what it looked like standing outside. So we've got the north elevation. So you can see now those columns that I was talking about that go all the way up, and there's the arch detail here. There's the front door, and here's your garage. There's the balcony and patio for the master bedroom. And you can see now the shape of the hips and so on of the roof. So that's the front of the house. The south, this is the back of the house area. Again, kitchen and the living room at the back. You can see those stairs coming down the side. And you can see the rear part of the roof. Looking on the east side, now we're looking at one side of the house where we're coming from the front of the house and that patio. Again, you can see the columns there and coming down the side. Then the other side is reversed, which is just the other side of the house, which is probably the most plain part of the building. And essentially that is pretty much the house. Yeah guys, so that is essentially the house. As I said, this is the first time I'm going through it. I've seen obviously the plans and stuff. I've seen the plan drawings, a couple of the steel details drawings. I hadn't seen the engineer's ones, and I hadn't seen a lot more of the actual details that were on there. There's a lot of stuff on here, the roof details and so on. So obviously before I start building, I have to go through this in detail. I've got to go through it as far as the foundation is what we'll be starting on our first trip. And obviously I'm going to have to quantify everything, because I'm doing that myself. I could give this to a quantity surveyor who could quantify everything for me and price up everything. But, you know, I'm going to do it myself. Obviously, I'm trying to save some money as a self-builder. So I've got to work it out on the lengths from the plans, which is a good thing about detailed plan is you can do that. I can work out, you know, how much 8mm steels I need, how many 10 mil steels I need, what lengths, how much concrete I'm going to need, how many blocks for the foundation, etc. So that I can get a budget together for myself. So, and then know when I'm ready to order, I know what my quantities are for the different phases that I'm going to be working on. So that is the next job for me, yeah. But yeah, so the next time we probably talk about this, I'm assuming will be closer to the time when we're ready to start building. Maybe when I'm back to actually start building, we'll probably start going through this again, or maybe start looking into some material costs, because I want to keep people updated or share the costs of things. So there's lots of people that's going to be wanting to build, and they want to have an idea how much this is going to cost me, how much the materials cost, how long does this take to do, how much is the labor going to cost, stuff like that. So I'll try and give as much information I can, especially when it comes to material costs, okay? But that is it for today, guys. I am done. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you learned something from it as well. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and remember to like, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. So until the next video, I'll see you soon. Take care and goodbye.